Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. Today I took notes in my stitch book. Bentley is here. I got hair in my eyes. He's over there peeking out the window because Daddy just left. I got a new shirt on that I thought was so appropriate for the channel. Trust me, I'm hilarious. I don't know that I'm going to be real funny in today's video, but I wanted to talk about something. And this is not a yarn related video, but this is just something I wanted to talk about, okay? I'm sitting there thinking, I've been emailing back and forth with someone in the yarny world. And I was thinking about things, and as per yesterday's video, apparently I'm very contemplative of lots of aspects. I think it's that time of year where we start thinking about things and over-analyzing things. And I was thinking about my life as a podcaster, especially after this is like a follow-up to yesterday's video, but this is more of what is what is the truth behind being a podcaster, the good, the bad, the ugly, the expectations. And so I made some notes that I wanted to cover because I get a lot of emails from people who say, I would really like to become a podcaster. Do you have any advice? And the short answer to that is no. I do not have advice, Oreo, of course. Don't get a dog named Oreo that pops your door. See? She only does it so the door is open. Let me lock it. And Bentley's about to make himself upset because he's going to lock himself out. I actually did lock that before, but apparently I didn't lock it right. It's got this little mechanism that goes into the floor joist, and if it doesn't go in just right, it pops open. So anyway, what's it like being a podcaster? Is it amazing? It sounds so much fun. I know that I had a question before that. Oh, what's advice for me starting my own channel? You need to start the channel. It's as simple as that. Like, there's not a plan that's going to work for everybody. The hardest part about being a podcaster is finding your personality and letting your true personality shine and hoping that other people actually like that personality. That is one of the most difficult things. When you come on and you're fake, people can see it a million miles away. See, I told you he wants to go to work with Mama, but the door opened, so he had to escape. I love you. Why are you such a pain? You're a good boy. And it's also really cold in here because my window is slightly cracked, but it's fine. Yeah, the hardest part of being a podcaster is hoping people like you. And hoping that you have enough personality that people want to join in and spend time with you. That is, well, it's not the hardest part. There's a lot of hard things about being a podcaster, but the first thing you need to do is figure out what you want to talk to the world about. It's that simple. And start recording videos. You are going to change and progress through time. You just have to not be afraid and start. When I started this channel, I had no intentions of doing what I do now. I really just wanted to share yarn with people. And I've told this story a lot, and I apologize if you've heard this for the umpteenth time. The reason I started my channel was not at all to be a podcaster. I wasn't even really watching that much YouTube back then. I watched Jujus and Stitches because I went on the internet to learn how to make a chevron blanket because I saw one in the thrift store. And I was like, I really like Jujus and Stitches. She taught me a lot of what I know. A lot of what I know. And I gotta write her name down because now I gotta tag her. Jada. Love Jada to death. Love her. There's not enough nice things I could say about Jada, but that introduced me to the world of YouTube. And then the reason I made my first video is because I was seeing stuff on Facebook mostly because that's where I was at. Wasn't really into the YouTube thing. I wasn't watching other people. And I didn't even know there was a whole community of anything on YouTube. I knew nothing about YouTube except that I found Jada and I really clicked with her the way she taught. My brain is so scatterbrained and lost what I was going to say. Oh, and I was seeing people were getting the Santa sacks because it was like January. I was like, what is a Santa sack? And at this time, I knew very little about yarn. I knew very little about yarn stores. I don't think I had ever been in a Hobby Lobby at this point because we didn't have one in this area. And so I knew very little, and I was like, what is a Santa sack? I want a mystery bag of yarn. So I typed on the computer, mystery bags of yarn. And I found a couple videos popped up. I found a couple websites that said Santa sack out of stock because it was January. What are mystery bags? I want a mystery bag of yarn. I want to try. I just love the idea of mystery bags. Now, when I was a little girl, we used to go to places like Frankenmuth, Irish Hills. These are all places in Michigan. Where else did we go? And they would have these little 5 and dime stores that were like just on the strips of like the area, the main street. And they would have these little mystery brown paper bags with just mystery random weird crap in it. Niagara Falls is one place I got one at. My mom and dad never had a honeymoon, so when I was about 6, they saved up and we all went to Niagara Falls as a family of 5. And I got a mystery bag and it had those really big plastic glasses that you wear on your face. I still remember that. So I've always really liked the idea of mystery bags. It's like getting presents, you know? So I found Premier Yarns, and this is where it all began. Premier Yarns had mystery bags, and I bought one. Actually, I think I bought 3. That's my very first video on the channel. And the reason I made the video is because I was searching for other people opening mystery bags, and I could not find any videos. There was one video, and I did not like the lady's personality at all. I was like, ooh, she was very complaining about everything. And I was like, I mean, but that was good yarn. Why are you complaining? Because it wasn't the right color. It wasn't like there was all these things she was complaining about. And I was like, I would love to get that bag of yarn. And then I ordered a couple more. And I ordered a couple more. And the rest is history. That's how the channel started. I had no intentions of anything. I didn't think people would like me. I didn't show my face because I was like, people are going to hate me because I'm fat. And that's one of my best qualities that people draw to, is that she's fat and she's not afraid to say she's fat. And she helps us to accept ourselves. And she teaches us how to fit stuff for our own bodies because we're all fat here. Not saying everybody in the channel's fat, but you know what I'm saying? That was one of the things that drew a lot of people to me. And oftentimes when I see my name popping up in other circles, it's, where do I find plus size garments? Cinnamon Stitches. Go look at Cinnamon Stitches. Go look at, and there's a lot of designers that make plus size garments, but I think because I'm fat, other fat people trust me to help them to size things to their body because maybe they're the same size as me or close, you know? And so what has happened with my channel was never planned. It was never, I was just going to make a couple videos showing the yarn that I got in mystery bags, and it kind of like went crazy from there. And I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't, like, none of this was planned. And so, you know, first thing I answered, the first question I get is, I want to start a channel. Do you have advice? Yeah, my advice, just do it. Do not put heavy expectations on yourself. Do not expect to be monetized. Do not expect to get 1 million subscribers. Don't put that extra pressure on yourself. Just do it and see what happens. Because that's how I started. That's the advice I have. What makes me have over 40,000 subscribers? I still don't fully understand that, except that I come on here and I am my true authentic self. Unapologetically so, most of the time. And I admit that I'm not perfect, and I just do my best with what I have, and I encourage all of you to do that. That's my advice. I don't know what the magic is to getting subscribers. Work hard, like, be consistent. Like, I can tell you all those things, but that's with everything in life. Work hard, be consistent, you will make progress, period. In all aspects of your life. Work hard, be consistent. Work hard, be consistent. That's it. It's that simple. It's really not that simple in the world of YouTube. I was watching Nate from Paging Mr. Morrow. I'm going to post him too because I've mentioned him a couple times. And he was talking about his own personal struggles and his personal life. And he's a Disney YouTuber. But every once in a while he does a blog style where he answers questions and he talks very personally about his life. And sometimes he gets emotional. And I absolutely adore him. I have one of his shirts that I wore in a video last week, or maybe it was this week. Adore him. And he was talking about how blessed and honored he is to be one of the few people that can make a living being a YouTuber. And he talked that something like 3% of the millions of people on YouTube, 3% can make a living and support themselves financially through YouTube. That is a very small percentage of people. Now, I can't say that I could fully support my family with the money that I make on YouTube. I can tell you that I would be able to support myself if I lived in Michigan or in a less expensive area from my money on YouTube. And so I'm considering myself as maybe not part of the 3%, but maybe I'm part of the 10% of the millions of people on YouTube that makes enough to support something, to survive off of, okay? Very, very blessed and honored with that, but at the same time that's not the reality for a lot of people, and I actually wrote that down. So the positives is, all right, I should probably stick to my list. One of the positives of being a podcaster, you make a little money if you can get to that point. To get to that point, you have to have, and I don't know what the numbers are because I passed those numbers a long time ago. I've been monetized for, I want to say 6-7 years now. That could be wrong, but I really think it's been 6 or 7 years. To get to the point of being monetized, you have to work really hard to create a community. And last time I checked, it was like over 1,200 subscribers. I could be wrong on these numbers because I have not checked in well over a year. And then you have to have like 4,000 of watch hours in a I don't remember if it's a 6-month period or a 12-month period. That's a lot of people watching for that period of time. You have to get a lot of views to be able to get monetized, and you have to sustain a certain amount of people and a certain amount of views to continue to be monetized, because they can demonetize you, because it really doesn't make sense for them to cut you a check for 12 cents. It really doesn't. And I know that they don't cut you a check unless you make $100, and until you make $100 they don't cut you a check. But that's one of the positive things. A lot of people are like, do I want to make a channel because I want a little bit extra money? The little bit of money, extra money for most people just really goes to buying a couple skeins of yarn. Most of my podcaster friends do not make enough to even take their family out to dinner in a month period. And it's a cool, fun way to get a little bit of extra funds to help support your hobby. But at the same time, one of the downsides of that is it can kill your creativity because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to just create. And that's one of the things I have severely dealt with on the channel and that's one of the main downsides, is it killed my creativity for a while there. And I was just barely chugging along with the amount of pressure I put on myself. And there's a lot of positives for having your own channel, but there's also things that nobody's talking about on the channels. Like how much it does kill your creativity. Constantly having to come up with new content is very stressful, and you get burnout. And there's actually like a whole community, and even YouTube is trying to address creator burnout. They are putting seminars together. They are making videos to help us with burnout. They put some sort of AI in there to help us with burnout in case we're burned out. Here's AI is going to help you to come up with new content, which is funny because I was playing around with it, and they're like, these videos might give you inspiration for your burnout. And I clicked it, and it was, first of all, one of them was, what are those dots? The sticky dots. What are those called? You know, the crystal. There's one right there. You know, where you color in the dots with the little thing. I forget what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Paint with numbers, but it's dots, crystals, whatever they are. And I was like, that's going to be a hard pass on this channel because I do not have the patience for any of that. But I've been gifted some really beautiful pieces from some of you. And so my Frankenstein is actually right there. I'm looking at it. And I have a Lilo N Stitch upstairs on my bedroom wall. And, you know, I was like, yeah, that's a hard pass. AI is failing me on that one. And then it was like, this video is really popular. And it shows video and ideas that are really popular in my creative genre of YouTubes. And I was like, that's kind of neat that YouTube is doing that, but that's also kind of like stealing other people's ideas. But it's actually kind of genius, because if it's working for other people and you do a video on that subject, but it's just your take on that subject and you get a lot of views, it is helpful. So like, kudos to YouTube for doing that. But All right, so we talked about killing creativity. We talked about financial support for either your habit or if you are lucky enough to help support your family. Another positive part of having your own podcast is you can get to connect with a community of people, and that can be a lot of fun. You connect with other like-minded people. You can have real conversations about things, but you don't have to have your own podcast to do that. You can just join in. And I'm not the only community out there where we have a community of just really like-minded people that come together, especially in my Facebook group, and we just talk crafts. And I don't care what crafts you're talking about, as long as you try to keep it like cinnamon stitches related. Because a lot of people will come in and try to like, oh, I have a new channel, and try to promote themselves, and I don't allow that in there because that's not what that's for. It's for me to connect with my community. And I really, really like that part of podcasting, is connecting with a whole community of like-minded people, whatever it is, like gamers, crafters, whatever it is you're interested in. There's communities out there because of podcasters, and I think that is another really positive thing for creating a channel. But again, there's a lot of the downsides of it. So you create a community, but also some of the community is really, really competitive, and it's really hard trying to keep up with the Joneses. And by that, I have watched a lot of my friends who are trying to keep up with bigger channels or keep up with other channels, and so they're in this competition. Like, I have to buy every single new yarn that comes on the market, so they're trying to keep up with everybody else. And I got caught up in that for a while. I needed to be, and this was years and years ago, because I realized a long time ago I don't need to be the first. I don't need to be the second or the third. I could be the last person that reviews a yarn, and those people that trust my opinion are still going to come and trust my opinion, whether I'm the first, second, or last to review a yarn. And so keeping up with the Joneses is really a huge trap, because a couple of things can happen with that. You're either buying all the yarn to keep up with everybody because you want that new yarn too, and that yarn is new and shiny, and let's all get the new yarn. But you're going to drive yourself into the poorhouse. You're going to be homeless with just a stack of yarn around you. That's not good. You're taking family resources away from your family. You're taking resources away from yourself. If you're overbuying because you're trying to keep up with the next podcaster over, or just a podcaster in general, that's not realistic. And I have a very hard rule on my channel that I do not spend more than 25% of my earned income per month on yarn or yarn supplies or any of those things. 25%, that's it. If you make $100 a month on YouTube and get your little $100 paycheck, you should not be spending more than $25 a month on that. Because the other 75% needs to go to savings or bills or health or your grocery, something. You should not be spending over 25% of what you earn back. Just don't do it. And that's if you're a podcaster. Now, if you're just a viewer and you like yarn, you know what your budget is. You need to be realistic with your budget and not try to keep up with a podcaster, because that's not going to get you anywhere fast. And then you're going to have a big giant hoard hanging around, and you're going to be overwhelmed, and you're not going to know what to do with all that yarn, and you're going to be stressed out. And there's no guarantee you're going to be able to sell it or get mystery boxes. Or what if you just die because you had a yarn avalanche just fall right on top of you? Which I have had happen in this broom more than one time. The whole shelf just collapsed right on my face. So, let's not keep up with the Joneses, okay? And also another thing that a lot of people think, I'm just going to start a channel, I'm going to be making money, it's going to be easy. There's no easy money here. It's not. And I hate talking about money, because money is a very touchy subject to a lot of people. There is no quick and fast money. It's just not. You have to work really hard to get to a point where you are financially okay making money. And most people, as in 97% of you, are not going to make enough money to financially support yourself or your family. You might get a little check here and there that you can spend on yarn. Now, if you only make $100 every 3 months on YouTube, which I know some of my friends actually, it's kind of like that. They're lucky if they get $100 every 3 months for their YouTube channel. If you want to spend that entire $100 because you worked hard to get it, you can absolutely do that. I'm not gonna judge you. If you only make videos just to buy yarn and yarn products with, more power to you. Let's do it, okay? But most of the time you're barely making cents, pennies, a couple dollars here and there. And YouTube doesn't pay you till you make $100. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna start a channel. It's not quick and easy money. It's not. I already mentioned constantly coming up with new content. Burnout is a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. The pressure of constantly, and it goes back to the keeping up with the Joneses and trying to keep up with the content and keep up with everybody else is doing this and this and this, and I gotta join make-alongs and crochet-alongs. I gotta make tutorials. No, you don't. You can talk about whatever you want on your channel. You can come on, if you have a large stash, or even if you have a mediocre stash, okay? You can come on every day and just feature a skein of yarn and be like, look at this pretty yarn. This is X, Y, and Z yarn. It's beautiful, isn't it? Talk about it. Maybe crochet a granny square a day. You could be granny square a day channel. You don't have to, like, you know, but the burnout is real because you're constantly trying to be new and be fresh, and there's so much pressure with being a YouTube podcaster or a content creator. There's so much pressure behind it, and we're not talking about it enough. And it's a real enough thing that I have actually been contacted by people who are doing studies on content creators. The guy was offering me money to do a study, as he was doing some science thing for college or something. He wanted me to partake in content creator burnout. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I was full on in burnout at the moment. And this is the ironic thing, is participating in one more thing is just going to add to my burnout. So I could not actually participate in his research for content creator burnout, because I was in the depths of it. I think his name was Nathan or something like that. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I just can't do it right now. It would have been cool, but no, we are in the depths of hell right now with the burnout. Can't take anything else. Now, I also have a never ever list. Never ever. These are things you should never ever do. And this is vital. Don't ever think it's easy money or quick money. Never, because it's not. And then the most important thing is never ever take resources from yourself or your family to keep your content going. I've also watched a couple of my podcaster friends very recently really struggle with some things, and really struggle with the idea of keeping up with the Joneses, buying things, sending happy mail. And Sam, I'm talking to you, okay? Manfa Makes. I watched her video and it kind of broke my heart. She was doing more time explaining herself. So check, I will put her to Manfa Makes. I'm calling you out, girl. Her name is Sam. She's delightful. I love her. I've watched her struggle with her mental health, and like, just life was hard for the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. And then she made a video recently, and that's another reason I was really thinking. It's just, her video really made me think. By the way, go check out Manfa Makes. She's delightful. She's in the UK. She is the sweetest thing ever, and I've made her cry a couple times. Which I think is hilarious. When I first popped in on one of her lives, and she didn't know I was in there, I was watching her, she was talking about me, and I popped in, and she like full on melted down and cried. She could not believe Cinnamon Stitches was in there. And I was like, awkward. It was funny though. I was actually laughing while she was crying, because I was like, dude, calm down. I am nothing special here. It's just me. But that's happened a couple times where she's just like, you know, she's fun. She's adorable. I really like her. But she was doing her New Year's thing, and she was talking about all the things she's not going to do this year that she has absolutely gotten tangled up in over the past year or whatever. And I was really thinking about all the pressures that we put on ourselves and that are so unnecessary when creating content. And this goes in the never feel like you have to keep up with anybody or anything or do anything. Especially don't spend money and resources that you don't have, can't afford. You don't have to send happy mail to people. You don't. Nobody has to send me happy mail. I love it so much, but like totally not expected. And what's crazy is my P.O. box is really expensive. It's so expensive. And I keep it open all year so that I can get Christmas cards at Christmas time, because that makes me so, so happy. And the happy mail throughout the year is always unexpected and always so, so appreciated. But I also know that it's not reasonable for me to send mail back to anybody, because there's a lot of it, you know? And so I was thinking, like, happy mail is such a thing that is so pressured on people. Like, you need to send happy mail. And there's some podcasters that are practically begging for happy mail, and because they want to feel special. And I understand that. But happy mail, you ain't gotta, that's another resource that you're taking away from your family, is paying for a expensive P.O. box. They are expensive. It's like, I think it's like $300 a year for me now. And I have to pay it every couple months, because that's a lot of money for a P.O. box, you know? And I do it so that I honestly, so I can get Christmas cards at Christmas time, because it makes, I got a stack of Christmas cards this year like this deep. It was so big. And it's just the simple things like that that just make me happy. Just feeling like somebody cares about me enough to send me a Christmas card. That is just everything. But don't try to keep up with, don't try to copy what other channels are doing. There is no rules for content creations. You do not have to do blog styles like I do. There are very successful people who you don't know. Lilo N Stitches don't talk about her personal life. And she's very, like, everybody knows Jada. And so I appreciate and respect her for that, but I'm also over here telling everything practically, right? So that you don't have to do blog style. You don't have to do tutorials. You don't have to do lives. I've done, what, 2, maybe 3 lives in the history of the channel, because I hate them. I hate doing lives. I don't really like watching lives. I don't enjoy watching people read the comments out loud. Lilo N Stitches I will watch live, because she does not do a typical where she's talking to every person. Like, I don't like those kind of lives. I won't tune in. I will pop in and say hi to, like, my friends, and then I go about my day, because I don't have 3 hours to also sit and watch it live. But you don't have to do, you don't have to do lives. You don't have to do tutorials. And that's one of the things, is a lot of us crocheters are like, oh, there's the pressure. I showed you how I made this, for example. This is not anything special. This is not a pattern or tutorial. It's never going to be. I don't do baby stuff on here. Rarely. That's backwards anyway. So if I show something and 18 people are commenting, oh, I love that, I wish you would show us how to make that, which happens quite frequently on this channel. And I have a feeling on Monday, we're going to get a lot of that, because I got a lot of compliments on that. I posted that on Instagram. There's always the pressure of, can you please show us how to make that? Can you please make that a tutorial? And while I would love to have the time and the energy to make tutorials for everything that I show you guys, it's not feasible. And there's a lot of pressure. And some people are not good at tutorials. Some people don't have the equipment to do tutorials. Like, it takes special equipment. You can't just set up a camera. You have to have overhead rigging. You have to have lighting. You have to stay in a very small frame to make sure. And I'm not good at that either. But we just, we fudge our way through everything, right? You shouldn't have to go spend extra money just so you can create a tutorial, because there's a pressure to do that. You shouldn't have to. So just keep those things in mind. And also, when you're commenting on, if you're not a podcaster, when you are commenting on a podcaster's video, keep in mind that we are often just somebody at home filming ourselves talk. We are not trying to be a professional business. We're not trying to offer you a service. We don't owe you anything. And I'm saying this to the entitled people who are constantly just, I watch you, you need to do this, or there are some demanding people I've experienced on the channel. Most recently, I got an insult because I had the audacity to show my son, and she found him to be loud, and she couldn't relax because he was in the video. She's not ever watching me again because I had the audacity to have my own child in my video. First of all, I didn't ask your opinion. Secondly, I owe you nothing, and I'm sure that it's really hard to relax with a stick up your butt. Furthermore, Don't be a jerk to people. Like, we're out here. A lot of us are just trying to have fun. We're just trying to make videos. We're just trying to be part of a community because maybe we don't have anybody in our lives that crafts. You know, don't be a jerk on the internet. Just don't do it. If you are cranky and you feel like, if you're watching a video and you're like just irritated, turn the video off. There is not a need to comment. We don't care. And I'm talking about every single podcaster is on the internet. We don't care. We don't care that you didn't like something or you didn't agree with something or you would do something different. We don't care. Comment nice, positive thing. Let's spread the love in this community. We don't need no more crap. This world is hard enough without getting on the internet and saying stupid stuff to strangers. We don't need to. If you disagree, it is okay. I don't care that you disagree. I don't care that you have a different opinion. That's cool. If you want to discuss it like a human, we can discuss things. But even then, I don't discuss like touchy subjects because I stay away from that. I don't like the drama. I don't argue with people. I can explain to you how I feel about things and why I feel the way feel about things. But until you've lived in my shoes, you can't understand my perspective. We all have different glasses we're looking through. And their glasses are formed from our experiences. What we've been taught, what we have felt, what we have seen. And, you know, we just need to just be kind. Just be kind. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this slightly educational video. We're just talking about being a podcaster. And I'm going to tell you my favorite things about being a podcaster. I have come in contact with some really amazing people. I have found a community that is loving, caring, supportive. And I surround myself with those people every day. The Facebook group, like those people in there are some of my favorite people in the world. Some of the people on here in the chat, if you go down, you will see some of the same people comment on every video. Jill, Diamond, Joan, Karen, actually there's a couple of Karens. Caribou is almost in every video. She's at least in the Facebook. Her name is Nancy. Oh God, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Like, there's a lot of you. Tracy, Linda. There's people that just comment every single day. Let me, hang on. And some of you are the first ones to comment every day because I know I'm going to forget. Let me look. These people are my favorite. Yep, Tracy. I already said Tracy. Kathy, Della, Chris with a K in Michigan. Teresa, Della comments a lot. Randy, I can't forget Randy. Actually, there's two Randys. There's a Randy with an I and a Randy with an E. Shout out to the Randys. There's just so many of Win. You know who you are. Beverly, can't forget Beverly. Teresa, Connie. There's a couple of Connies too. If I forgot you or you didn't hear my name, just know that I see you when you comment every single day on my videos. Oh, Red Canary. Oh, the list goes on, but I see you every day. And I'm like, oh, she's back again. He's back again. They're back again. Because I can't tell what your pronouns are by looking at your name, you know. So, like, there they are. There they are. Good morning. Hi. Good morning. Pam. Can't forget Pam. So with that, that's my favorite part of being a podcaster. My community, the people I've created, the people who come back every day to have coffee with me in the morning or to watch me when they get home from work, or those of you that watch me with your pets or your grandchildren or your nieces or your nephew, whoever the littles are. All the littles that watch me, all of the moms of the special needs children who tune in and who are also recommended to me. Hi, I see you. I acknowledge you, and I know that it's hard. I know that every day it can be a struggle with a special needs child, and just know that I'm pulling for you, and we got this. We only have 18 years. Well, some of us have the rest of our lives, but like for the the easier cases. We live 18 years. You can do this. You got this. I'm behind you. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna let you guys go. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I got a lot of positive feedback on the homeschool channel, and I think I may start one, but it is not going to be anything like this channel. It is not going to be, my goal is not to monetize it. My goal is not to create a community. Not like a big one. My goal is to say things out loud that I'm feeling about homeschooling, share things that are working for me with homeschooling in case there's another mom out there, or dad, or auntie, or uncle, or grandma, whoever who is homeschooling their kid. They're like, hey, I just want to watch this video and see what's up. Maybe they're struggling because their kid has special needs. Maybe their kid's ADHD and I can offer a tip or something that helps my kid. Or maybe I can just talk about struggles with homeschooling that maybe someone else can relate to. Or maybe I can share like, hey, look at, I did this with math and this is what worked, but this is not the way they're teaching it, but this is the way it works. Or something like that, you know. And there's not going to be any pressure. It's going to be every once in a while I might make a homeschool video. I really would like to share this story, because it's not my story, of why we homeschool, what started it, and what amazing progressions he has made through doing the homeschooling. And I just really want to do that for him and I. No one else. And I will let you guys know if I do that, because I know some of you are interested just to hear whatever I talk about. And some of you are absolutely invested in Lucas. And I appreciate those of you that are. But with that, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you Monday, and I will show you all the fun things I've made. Even the gloves that have been worn out in the snow and are all, they look felted now because I don't know what happened. These have not been washed or dried, but they went in the snow and they look like they have been felted. And so we have some fun things for me to show you that I have made. I have kind of taken a crochet hiatus for the past couple days. So all this stuff I made at the beginning of the week. I'm just taking a break because I feel like I need to decompress a little bit. I need to just not crochet because I've been making so many big things. But we'll talk about that on Monday. Have a fantastic, peaceful, relaxing, or fun-filled weekend. And I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys.